Scott?
Well, as you can probably guess, I think Aram called a foul on Lenny, and Lenny's saying that he didn't get any part of his arm. But the way the disc flew out of there, it certainly looked like that was a foul, or at least that he contacted the disc while it was still in his hand.
But Lenny Engel couldn't believe it.
Yeah, you know, Lenny's a competitor. He's out there just doing the best he can.
Dobbins from about midfield.
Nice shot to Bob DeMann.
Wind's really picking up now.
First time today, the breeze is starting to blow with some stiffness out of one of the directions here. Doesn't make any difference.
In for the score. Bob DeMann, nice shot up the line to number 11. It's Aaron Flores on the goal.
New York with the score now, giving them 15. And a few people in the crowd applauding.
I think that's the New York women's team that got eliminated in the semifinals against Lady Godiva yesterday.
You can see where there'd be a little discouragement on the part of some of the Boston players.
Well, you know,
down by 6 goals at this point.
They don't feel that they're playing as well as they could, and they hate to think that they had the opportunity to be in the World Championship and didn't play their best game.
You know, in some of the competition I saw this week, I saw some teams saying to the others, we apologize that we're not playing better, that we're not giving you much of a match. I couldn't believe it.
Well, it goes back to spirit of the game. You want the best, most well-played game you can get.
Boston's got the disc, Scott.
Yeah, back into play from their own end zone. And they go over to Mata Phillips, up to Moons on the sideline. They set up a play out of the off the pull, but they couldn't get it to the man they sent deep. So they'll work back across the field. Big fake to the end zone. Little hammer throw. Mata Phillips pulls it down. Nice bid there by Mike Turoff, but I think we had a pick called. So we'll go back to Kid Runkle, 99.
There's a lot of back and forth now between these guys.
One of the things this does, though, is it's kind of a disadvantage for a big brother because it's sort of taking them out of their rhythm.
3-2-1 countdown by John Gerwitz.
Big 4, turn off. You're good, you're good, you're good. In the middle, Mike. In the middle. Other side, Carol, other side. Still there, Carol, still there.
Steve Mooney, big shot cross field. This is going to be a great matchup. Nice play by Cribber over Jay Seeger.
Timing is everything.
And New York calls timeout.
There's our timeout in the second half with a New York lead of 6 points, 15-9 here in the finals. What's going on with the New York team?
It's a good question.
No, I know what's going on. They've got their 7 starters in the middle of there. That's their line. And then the ones on the outside are just keeping loose and having some fun.
I noticed one of the players has his son coming out on the field to help him out.
This looks like some sort of an ancient Mayan rite.
I think it's probably more a summer camp song.
Big brother, big block. 1, 2, 3.
Big brother, big block!
We got his.
So we're back in play. New York from their own goal line, having burned their first time out of the half. John Goertz takes a shot for Dennis now. Touche! Dennis Warson beating Jay Seeger on the defense, and then coming back down the other end and beating Jay Seeger on the offense.
So we see quite a matchup between these two guys.
But that was a timeout well spent. They set that play up and just executed it.
I think what they probably did in the timeout is they said, hey, Dennis, you just wounded that guy. You want to pour salt in the wounds now and go down and beat him for the goal? And Dennis said, sure, I'd love to do that.
Now we're at 16-9.
New York has that 7-goal lead we were talking about.
Yeah.
It's starting to look pretty bleak for Big Brother.
And they're only 5 goals away from the win.
That's
from
right.
Becoming world champions. I would say some spirit is broken.
Let's go,
Well, Boston certainly got to be thinking 1 goal at a time.
They've had a lot of matches over the years. In fact, Kenny Dobbins was telling us before that he really felt that Boston was stronger several years ago. And about the last year and a half, New York has been pretty dominant against this Boston
They
team.
appear to be pretty dominant today also, at least up to this point.
Kenny had some concerns, though, because he said they haven't practiced much since Boulder, Colorado competition about 3 weeks ago.
Doesn't look like it's hurt him much.
Now we've got Big Brother about a yard short of the end zone. Every goal is precious for them. They need to get this in. There you go, swing. I think we had a call before the throw.
I heard something. Yeah. He reached around me. He put me in a bear lock.
Stepped on my toes, untied my shoes.
And gave me a noogie. Okay, fine. We'll take it back, play it over.
I've been informed by our ace statistician staff that New York has decided to take their time this half, and they've cranked their average passes per possession up to a whopping 3.6.
They're getting sloppy.
They are getting sloppy. They were at 2.9 passes per goal. Now they're
Shot for the end zone. Oh, nice throw. It just out of Jeff Williams' hands.
He must feel bad about that.
Oh, blocked by Mata Phillips.
Mata Phillips is now his personal hero.
Brother working patiently, now setting up a play for John Axon. He
There it
came
is.
free. Great
Beautiful.
fake. Totally
Great fake.
lost Dave Blau.
Outstanding fake. Outstanding fake.
He just put him away.
I tell you, yeah, Mata Phillips. I think Jeffrey Williams should buy Mata Phillips
Mata
a
for the
thank you
beer,
card
yeah.
there. Yeah.
That was saved him from looking bad. Although take nothing away from Jeff on that. That was a tough bid.
Well, producer Richard Greenberg, Laura Morton, both decided that they wanted to go full tilt boogie and being able to show the world what Ultimate is all about. We hope you're getting a great idea with our two expert commentators, Scott Gerst, John Vorhaus.
And New York now runs out of their end zone. Skip Kuhn. That's their second pass. That's Bob DeMann. That's floating. Dave Blau has the garbage. That throw was not intended for Dave, but he was in the right place at the right time. To flip for Dobbins for the score. I think we're going to have some kind of discussion there. Nope, no discussion. That will count. Kareem Basta to Kenny Dobbins.
Kenny gets right up, takes that disc, throws it right back down, a little bit like a spike.
You know, we've seen that happen again and again. You overthrow the first receiver, but the second receiver
Picks it right up. Now, who got that to Kenny Dobbins?
I think that was Kareem Basta on the throw.
So it was Basta to Dobbins.
And again, that was 4 or 5 passes max.
Goal number 17 now for New York as they continue to dominate today's game with quick play, fast passes, quick scoring.
There's a lot of work gone into this, and this is the reward for all their work. So there's nothing being taken for granted out there. That's a great pull.
Beautiful pull.
That's in. That's right on the line.
That's about as good as it gets.
Yeah, you force the offense to start in the corner. That's where you want them.
So now, as a result of the good pull, Big Brother will work from a couple yards into its own end zone.
That end zone 25 yards deep, 70 yards down to the goal line.
Hammer throw over to Kid Runkle.
That'll be a strip call.
Yeah, Blair O'Connor ran right into Kid Runkle. They'll tap the disc back into play.
He says, I did it accidentally, and the other guy says, I understand, no problem.
And they put it back in.
They don't mind losing a little ground if they feel that it's going to set things up for them.
That's right. Sometimes that pass backwards is a great pass. There's shot for the end zone.
Willie,
That's
yes.
there, yeah. Beautiful throw from Jay Seeger to John Axon in the far corner.
That was the equivalent of about a 45-yard bomb in football.
Just inside midfield. He put it right on the money.
The weather has been perfect, especially about the last 3 days. Started with a good day of rain here, first day of the tournament, and then was hot and humid as all of the East suffered under the weather for a few days, and then it couldn't have gotten more perfect.
It's been perfect almost this whole week.
The weather gods look after the spirit of the game as well.
And a nice return pull by Big Brother. Trapping New York in the corner. And we have our first strategy change. Looks like a zone. It certainly is. got our first strategy change of the game. Now New York has to change from their man-to-man offense to their zone offense. They've got to be a little bit more patient, not try to bang it up the field very quickly. Now Dobbins in the middle of the field shoots it up the middle. They're cutting through this zone fairly easily so far. Now they'll go backwards, try to stretch the defense.
What's the defense hoping for?
Defense is hoping that by making the offense make more throws, which is what happens in a zone, that eventually they're going to make a bad one. But the percentages with these guys, they're pretty good throwers. They're making this look easy. Dobbins now about 2 yards out. Big brother stays with the zone. Dobbins up the middle for the score. Well, that didn't work.
To it. No, not at all. They might have had, what, 8, 9 throws on that one instead of 3 or 4, but it didn't make any difference.
So Boston's saying, well, we've got to try something. We'll try a zone, see what happens.
Right, on a day with no wind and great throwers, the zone is a tough proposition.
It looks like New York was just waiting for him to go.
Well, you know, it was a little bit of bad luck and bad timing because the wind is blowing off and on. If they had caught that zone at a breezy moment, they might have had a little bit better luck with it, but that zone didn't show New York anything they couldn't handle.
I don't think we'll see that again.
No.
What do you think Boston's going to have to do in order to beat New York next time they play?
They're going to need a couple of bigger horses, just guys who can dig down deeper and play tougher. They need somebody who can match Kenny Dobbins stride for stride, throw for throw.
But isn't Dobbins recognized as probably the most intense player in the whole league?
There are a lot of pretty intense players. Just Kenny happens to be very noticeable. There's a play they set up for Steve Mooney. John Gewirtz goes up and knocks it away. Oh, Woody Lewis throws the disc away. That's a break. Let's see if they can turn it around. Mata Phillips up top for Jay Seeger for the score. There's a rare mistake by the New York team.
So it may be too early to bury Boston at this point.
And Woody's not happy with himself there. He just picked up the disc and threw it right into the ground.
Yeah, you hate to see that happen.
You know, most of the players who are here and spent the whole week here are taking their vacations from work and probably working harder here during the week than they would sitting at their desk and doing whatever they do.
Yeah, I feel sorry for some of these guys who are playing today and have to be at work tomorrow morning.
I got to be
at
at work on Monday. Monday's going to be hell.
Too much for me.
Big Brother hasn't given up. They know a tough D here puts them 1 point closer.
Oh,
that one is way out.
Yeah.
That's so far out, it's gone.
Heads up, heads up.
We call that a yank. That's a technical term for that.
A yank?
Yes.
We've been called yanks up here in Canada.
Jay Seeger's laughing at himself because he knows that wasn't necessarily his best effort. And every time a pull goes out of bounds by that distance, usually the fans and the players on the field waste no time making fun of the person that threw it that far out of bounds. Okay, we'll see the zone again.
That's a surprise.
You guaranteed me they wouldn't try the zone again, and here they are right back in the zone.
Oh, look at this.
Well, that's a good way to beat the zone. Knocked away by Mata Phillips. I don't know if that's a good idea, Jay.
I don't think it was great decision-making on either side.
Who's going to go get the disc?
It's going to be Mata's going to go pick up the disc.
There was a little look at him. You knocked it away from me. I'm not going to her.
Well, no, the team that's just going on defense doesn't have any responsibility to go get the disc.
So Dave Blau, number 10 for New York, just said, hey, look.
You pick it up.
It's yours, baby.
There's Mata with Kenny Dobbins guarding him.
Whoa. How do they judge those tosses so close to
Dave Blau gets it right back again.
That was a gift to him.
Pat King, who just took that errant shot, decides better.
New York just 3 points away from the victory. Threatening again.
Dobbins with a big hammer to the end zone. Lenny's closing distance. Oh, just off Dave Blau's hand.
Uh-oh.
I disagree with that, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wait a minute. What's the call? What are you disagreeing with?
I think Dave made a foul call. Said he was hit in midair, but I think
disc, he'd already made his bid, and the disc was away from him before the contact was made.
Yeah, I think he just dropped that.
However, more than likely, he'll probably win the argument.
Well, as always, the only thing defense can do to dispute it is to send it back to the thrower.
Where does the disc go to then?
It would return to the thrower. If not,
what's the call? I think that foul was not contested.
Not contested.
And in World Flying Disc Federation rules, if there's an uncontested foul in the end zone, it counts as a goal.
And that's exactly what happened.
So New York picks up goal number 19.
You know, even here at the top of the pyramid, there are two games being played. One is for score and one is for spirit. And you want to be able to accept the congratulations of the fans for playing within the spirit of the game as well as for winning it.
Fans didn't quite agree with the call initially.
No. But when it wasn't contested, they realized there was something they must have missed.
As we said before, the players on the field know exactly what's going on more than the fans in the stands do. So Big Brother finds themselves needing a bunch of goals to get back in this one.
They need a flood. They need an earthquake.
So Tommy with a hammer. Mata Phillips
Nice
picks it
grab.
out of the air. Good try by Mike Turoff, but he didn't have position on that.
How many times do you think you hit the ground during a game?
These guys, I would say, average 5'6". Who knows? You know, 5,
easily.
6, 7
And
times.
I'll tell you what, you can feel each one later.
As Tommy takes a big shot for John Axon in the corner. Beautiful
Yes.
throw to the back cone. Nice throw, Tommy.
John Axon showing a series of beautiful grabs in the second half. A couple of them were just out of reach in the first half.
Big Brother set to pull.
He's a big guy. Axon's got to be 6'3", 6'4".
It's hard for me to tell. He's taller than I am.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
As far as I'm concerned, a tall man is just a target.
Well, he's taller than we are, and we're up here in our broadcast booth.
High above the playing field.
High above the playing field.
That little nosebleed I'm getting up here.
I doubt it.
Jay Seeger, I think he may have gotten this one inbounds. Yeah, Mike Nevins plays it from the air.
New York with the disc. 2 points away from winning the World Championships.
Blau looks off a couple of receivers, goes short instead. Got a foul right here, a little body contact. It's 45, Juano Flores has Kenny Dobbins. As soon as it's back into play, he'll have Dobbins open for a pop to the middle.
Dobbins
Looking long.
Always looks long first. Little flip, not a great throw by Kenny. I think there's a foul called. Ken's going to say that he didn't have the full range of arm motion, that Jeffrey stopped him.
Crowd's not going to like that at all.
I don't think Jeffrey likes that.
We've got observers on the sideline talking to themselves. We've got Dobbins, Jeff Brown.
That's not true. If I establish my position, you're not allowed to step through me to get around me. Jeff, I don't think that's not fair. I really don't. I'd like to go to the observer then. Okay.
They're taking this one to the observers.
Kenny agreed.
Ask him.
And the observers overrule New York.
Yeah, they sure did.
I think that's a good call.
I think too.
You know, Jeff had established his position on defense, and it looked like Kenny stepped into him and drew the foul.
The observer system is new, and you want to see if it's going to work well or not. I would say in that situation it worked perfectly.
But immediately upon a foul being called, two observers right in front of us here at the broadcast booth got together, immediately talked about it, established which observer would make the call.
And of course, all the observers are players themselves.
Oh, and they
Big
get it
block
right
by
back.
Pat King. That wasn't a great throw. They're looking for Pat on the far sideline. Don't have him. Back to Dobbins.
New York 2 away. That was
Dobbins shot for the end zone.
Oh, great grab.
What a catch.
A beautiful catch moves New York to within 1 point of the World Championships in Ultimate for 1991 here in Toronto, Canada.
I foresee one problem for the future of Ultimate, and that's overstuffed highlight reels. There's just too much good action in these games.
Who says man can't fly?
New York lost any matches this week in semis? One.
Yes, New York lost to a team from Chicago called Windy City in a great game, 19-17 earlier in the week.
In fact, Windy City didn't lose a game until yesterday's semifinals
That's right.
matches. Many thought that they would go on, that they seemed to have the momentum.
And Windy City was beaten by this Big Brother team we see out here, and they were beaten because Big Brother came out and played some great defense and staked themselves to a big 6-0 lead and coasted the rest of the way.
So Chicago beat New York. Boston beat Chicago. And now New York is beating Boston.
I think Pete Rozelle would like that.
It's just so nice to watch that disc in flight.
Isn't that amazing?
Number 99, Kid Runkle, will pick up the disc and walk it out to the goal line. The 7 people from New York on the field right now are thinking, well, we score this goal, we're on the field for the World Championships. If we don't score this goal, then we got to go sit down and maybe our teammates get all the glory. Into play from their own goal line. They're stuck. They get it outside to John Axon, who's had himself a good game. Big flip cross field. John Gowertz in pursuit. It's Robert Delorius.
Look at him run. This is the last, could be the last few points of the game.
And they're still going all out. Mata Phillips has a man on the far sideline. There's the hammer. It looks like he might have gotten fouled on that.
Nope.
Nope, I guess he got a piece of the disc.
Got a piece of the disc. It's now turned over to New York, and this could be it.
And they call time.
Oh! New York takes a timeout with a 2013 lead over Boston. The world's men's finals in ultimate. New York had a few things to say in the huddle. What do you guys think they're going to do? John, start with you.
I think they're going to strike for a long one and go out in a blaze of glory.
How about you, Scotty?
I find it interesting that they're up as much as they are, and instead of patting each other on the backs in the timeout, they're still calling plays and setting up their offense.
Boston hanging right on them, not giving up.
He's stuck. Count's got to be high. Nice flip to Dennis Warson. Cribber's looking at the end zone. Jay Seeger right on him. It's a good matchup. Goes instead to Gowertz. Nice block by number 69. That's Griff Griffin. Really laid out and got that one.
Crowd very appreciative of his effort.
Sure, under the circumstances.
They don't have anything developing on offense, though. Mata's been doing a lot of work back there. There's John Axon free again. Jay's got a step, and they're going to throw it to him. Jay's got 2 on him. One of them's Dennis. They go over top and get that one.
I think Big Brother would have felt better if John had been receiving that one than throwing it.
The alley-oop gives the disc back to New York.
Who gives it right back?
Again.
They're not happy about that. Big shot cross field. There's the open man for the score.
It ain't over.
Aram shrugging his shoulders. You know he didn't make a good play there.
Perhaps their concentration is not on defense. 20-14 now. New York over Boston. A little extra time. New York's ready. They're urging Boston to give them the pull.
Jeffrey Williams with a nice toss downfield. Big Brother defender sprinting downfield. Oh, nice catch by Skip Kuhn.
A risky move.
Goes backhand. Dobbins is open. We have a collision and 2 Big Brother players down in the middle of the field.
Oh, yeah. It looks like we've got Jeff Williams.
Number 26.
Is that John Axon?
I don't think that's John. He's got hair on his head.
Number 6, Darryl Seawalt. Bad luck for Darryl. He hasn't been in too much.
Well, I don't see any bones showing.
No, I just got his chimes rung a little bit.
And again, players from each team checking with the other players to make sure everybody's okay.
Now, is there an element where you want to say, hey, look, I can play injured. I'm tough.
Well, yeah, but, you know, you got to serve the team. If there's somebody on the sideline who's fresh, can go in there and do the job for you while you recover. You got to let him go.
What he's got to hope is that the man they put on the field in replacement can get a block, or if the team can get the disc back and score, so you have an opportunity to come back on the field. Of course, New York scores here, the game's over.
New York just 1 point away. Normally they play to 19 in the World Championships, up to 21. And if it's tied at 21, you'd have to win by 2.
That's correct, and there's no cap, which means you have to win by 2, and there's no limit. You could play to 50 if you need to.
Disc back in.
Kenny Dobbins going up top for Pat King. Knocked
Nice
away. Great defense.
No foul called on that one. It was clean. They were both going for the
That's
disc.
a great play on defense.
Oh, the crowd loves that.
It's Jeff Brown on the block there, climbing up over top of Pat King and knocking that one away.
He just positioned himself inside on the disc.
Oh, there's a mistake.
The receiver faked out the thrower on that one.
This could be it.
The cut. Mike Nevins. Oh! Out by Jared. Oh! Jay Seeger.
Nevins is going to say that Seeger went over the top of him and never got him a chance,
Well,
to
technically,
leap
he did go over
up.
the top of him, but I think he had the disc in his hand before. Yeah, he's going to let that go. Dave Blau said, Mike, let it go, man.
2 great defensive moves in 3
did you
plays.
see that his feet were up around the other guy's head?
Yeah, Dave Blau went over to his teammate, Mike Nevins, and said, Mike, let that go. That was a great play. I saw that. You didn't. You were underneath him. Jay Seeger shoots it up the sideline. Nice catch. Robert Delorius goes for the end zone, number 7.
Yeah.
Oh!
Kareem Basta.
And a great handshake. New York and Boston players shake hands. Terrific goal. We've seen a lot of action.
It's number 7 for Big Brother. Unfortunately, he's not in the program.
He's not on the program. We don't know who he is.
Whoever he is, he just made a hell of a sprint and catch there. That's Jethro Yu.
Jethro Yu.
Jethro Yu with a great catch there.
It was a great series coming down.
Wow.
Yeah, Jay
20
really.
to 15.
You know, you got to feel like the fans have gotten their money's worth on this one.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
Players are having a good time, too. Jay Seeger is the one who got beaten by Dennis a couple times on a point before, and I think he just got it back.
It would have been so easy for Boston to roll over and die. Down by as many as 7 goals.
Crowd's trying to bring him back
Look
into
at this crowd.
Definitely got their money's worth, and the admission was free.
F-R-E-E. So, no matter what, you got your money's worth.
Well, Boston's pumped, but we've seen Boston pumped several times throughout the match.
Yeah.
And New York comes back and bingo.
I think New York has set up a play here. They may try a big shot and end this one quickly. They don't want the crowd or Big Brother a chance to get back into this.
Disc pulled into the wind.
That's a beautiful pill. No, just out of bounds.
Out of bounds. Wind caught it.
Into the bleachers.
All right, here we go. Remember, Boston needs to keep New York from going in. They're only 1 away from the win.
Kareem Basta puts it into play. Robert Delorius on the mark. They come out to Bob Demand.
Oh, a turnover.
Took his eye off the disc.
Oh!
He's probably thinking about the next throw.
Or the sideline, wondering where the sideline was.
Boy, I hate when that happens.
Breeze picking up a little bit.
Lenny calling out a play. Lenny Engels. Redhead with the horns.
He's got the horns on his head.
Goes to the middle of the field. Now Delorius back to Lenny.
Uh-oh. Oh!
Didn't get it. That's tough. Now Lenny's got to get back on defense. Dave Blau looks deep, doesn't have anything. He doesn't have anybody on him either, so he'll take his time. Gets it to Dobbins, who gets his feet in bounds. Now about 40 yards away from the world champion.
Looks like
We had a pick call.
A pick calling.
Yep.
Defensive man interfered with, trying to get to position.
They'll put it back into play.
Not only do they respect offense, they respect defense in this game.
That's correct. It's back in. Dave Blau to Dobbins.
He's looking, here
For
it
the
goes.
championship.
That's not going to work.
That's down. Not a good throw by Kenny.
A lot of back and forth. Crowd very excited.
Everybody's on their feet.
One of the things, an important note is that Kenny, his job forced him to be away for the first 5 days of this tournament. He just showed up yesterday morning for the semifinal, so he hasn't played this week as much as anybody else has.
You think he may be a little rusty?
Looks like he's just a little bit rusty. Nice catch by Delorius. Free man on this side of the field. Doesn't get it to him. Instead, back to number 1, Gary Lippman.
Uh-oh.
Blocked by Blau. There's the shot for the end zone. It's over.
New York.
World champions.
New York, New York. World champions. The World Flying Disc Federation Club Championships here in Toronto, Canada. 21-15, an outstanding match. Certainly for everyone here who enjoyed the festivities all week, a great way to conclude what this was all about.
New York, New York.
Congratulations.